Well, when you say that the time is right, you know, 20 years ago, everything was very tribal. You know, you had your alternative kids, you had your hair metal kids, you had your classic rock kids, and you weren't allowed to move between the
genres.
tribes.
Yeah, no.
Wasn't allowed. But now, like when I was at the High Voltage Festival, every 17-year-old that was there, and there were a lot of 17-year-olds, and they're all carrying around a copy of Classic Rock magazine,
of course,
or Prog Rock magazine, and to them, it's all just good music. Give me the sounds, give me the emotions, give me the feelings that make it work. And there's no tribalism anymore.
Well, the internet has allowed the freedom of music to exist again, whereas before any music that was out there before the internet and all the file sharing stuff went down was just stuff that was, you were told to like this because MTV played it, VH1 played it, radio played it.
Yeah.
After that, you're on your own. And you get the few record stores that had, you know, like guys had good taste and they were hip, but those were small pockets. Now anybody can just get on their computer and have access to just about everything that's ever been recorded, and they're free to make up their own minds on it. And it's really siphoned the power away from the mothership, aka the traditional music business, and has now put it out. Now you can have a band like this that's a people's band, and it doesn't have to follow trends, and I think that's the only reason why we exist at this point today.
And you guys dip into obviously a whole bunch of different influences. I mean, there's a Zeppelin influence, there's a Sabbath influence, there's a Deep Purple influence. I hear some Bad Company here every once in a while. I love the Hammond organ. I'm a sucker for a Hammond organ.
Jarek, please.
It's great. It's a pleasure for me to be able to play Hammond dominantly on a record. Most of the time I'm playing a lot of synthesizers, but this record is like 95% B3, and that's great with me.
Yeah, you can't go wrong.
No,
I mean, the
last
last
time...
time...
the Mellotron one song, didn't we?
Well,
yeah, the Mellotron. There's certain sounds in the keyboards that stand the test of time, and a Hammond will be cool, you know, 50 years from now, it'll be cool. It's just always going to be good.
Where's the Mellotron?
There's some Mellotron in there, too. It's on one of, what song?
It's in Stand.
In Stand,
yeah.
Oh, Stand the Burning Tree?
Yeah.
Oh, with more Hammond?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Well, I'll have to listen to it. Where did you get it?
It was at the studio.
It was a real Mellotron.
There was some real nice relics at that studio that were very. You blow the dust off and a couple of
wow.
It's the real deal. I mean, everything's the real deal on this record, I think. So.
And I think Kevin had a strong part in that as well.
Oh yeah.
He kind of really did in his head, he had the finished masterpiece in his head already, and it was just a matter of us playing and him. He really, you know, sometimes I like to have a little bit more time to do it as a drum pole, at least think about it a bit more. So I really had to go on a whim and take Kevin's advice, and at that point, you know, I was kind of feeling like, hold on, you can't tell me how to play drums. He goes, no, we haven't got time to think about it, play this. I'm going.
There were, we had a few
I trusted him and it worked, you know, it worked.
There was some things going on in there. It wasn't just all polite. There was some, you know, pulling and pushing, and that's what a rock band is. You know?
There was a lot of ideas. I remember, especially on the first session, there was a lot of ideas flowing at the same time. I think where Kevin really deserves a lot of the credit is he would listen to everybody's thing, but then somebody had to there had to be a consensus, and we had to like record something. So he was like, okay, let's try it this way, and you know, 2 takes later, we're learning another song.
Yeah.
And it was good. It was like, I like recording like that because it really is just off the top of your head and you don't think about it.
What was the initial complication with the name?
We can't really talk about that, unfortunately. We've been told not to.
Oh, so
it's off limits, right?
Yeah, I mean, again, it's you know,
we'd love to talk to you
just
about
legal,
it.
just legal things. So.
See, the problem is, you know, 60 years into rock and roll, all the good names are taken.
Trust me when it's look, Jason and I, we're both from the Black Country, and you know, I can just say this to you, that we just thought it would be a great idea, you know, because Joe really loves, you know, Zeppelin and the Purple Heritage is from that area, and Sabbath. We just thought, you know, we just honour that kind of cause.
It rang a bell.
So. Right.
Yeah, and Jason and I sort of said it together, you know, and of course we didn't. There's another band called that, and we didn't. And anyway.
Want to upset them?
No. So we pulled away from the car, and we just, you know, called ourselves something different.
It was, on this day, 1967, that Led Zeppelin launched.
Doubtful.
This day. That's what I read this morning.
No.
No?
When?
No, it would be launched, I would say, 68 they didn't do.
Or maybe it was 68 then.
Yeah.
You would know that,
But
wouldn't
today,
you?
this day, this whatever the day is.
It would be
this-
68
September
then.
7th.
September 7th,
It
it was
would be
68 then.
68,
It's a
yeah.
good one today, isn't it?
Yeah.
Wow. Well, and also it's 30 years, 25th September that my father passed away. So
Well,
it's,
you're doing a tribute to him.
Yes, I am. Which, but the whole world of things managed to work out. I kind of checked with everybody when we did the album. I knew the album was coming out when it did. That we weren't going to tour until next year.
Mm-hmm.
So I agreed and had enough demands from different people to do this kind of show, which has been taking a lot of time and a lot more emotional than anything else. Was going back and trying to find all this kind of footage I wanted to use, which was home stuff and stuff I really hadn't even looked at for a long, long time, which has been, turned an old grown man into a crying baby half the time by oh my God, reading interviews of Dad's for the first time that I've never seen that he did when he was like 22 years old, and even when he was younger actually, and reading about me as a child, him going, does your son play drums? He goes, oh, he just started, was kind of cool. So that is just one part of my life, and one of the reasons why I agreed to do it was what I had was Black Country Communion as well, and I stress to people when I talk about it, my Zeppelin has always been in my life, and it always will be, and it's something that people say, well, aren't you sick of talking about it? No, it's a huge part of my life, so and it always will be there. But so is now Black Country Communion. So I've been lucky that I got to put it all in at the same time.
Well, I'm looking forward to seeing where this project can go because, again, it's one of the most different sounding bands that I've heard in a long time. My buddy Ivor turned me on to your playing, and I think it's just absolutely terrific.
Thanks.
And he went out and he actually bought me all the CDs and DVDs. So
I tell him thank you for his patronage.
I have the entire collection and all. Been a fan of your work, and I Sabbath, Purple. That's where I grew up. So, wow, we got a really neat collection of human beings here.
We're all super punks. We're all very excited.
Let's see that. And again, the time is absolutely 100% right for this sort of thing.
We hope so.
Just need a little bit of breaks for people to catch on and
Exactly.
hear about you.
We never know.
It's been organic. I think the record can best be described as underhyped and overachieved. It's like in the sense that anytime a group like this gets together, and there's been like groups like this before, and there will be after, is the Artie Fufkins of the world will go out and say, this is the greatest band in the world. It cannot lose. On paper, it's like gonna be better than Chocolate, and then that's before they recorded a note of music. On the other side,
Yeah.
we recorded the record before any of the Artie Fufkin stuff kind of came out, and when people started to hear it, they go, wow, this is like pretty rockin', And I think that's been it's been a nice organic build from that point.
There was nothing, and then there was this band, and people go, well, you've been, it's like.
So, how long can you keep it up?
Pardon?
How long can you keep it up?
Oh.
Well, 36 hours with these pills.
Yeah.
But after 36, if
you're a lucky man.
it's still going, you have to consult a doctor. Right?
No, or call a video producer.
Right.
Explore Music wears English Laundry apparel.